And away we go. Thursday, November 7th. Welcome to the Damon Bruce Show, brought to you by Ike's Sandwiches. Today, I believe we are co-streaming on our friend Cyrus's channel, Golden Days. I'm going to leave the logo right up there just in case we indeed are. It says that we are here, but unfortunately, I've got no Cyrus for you today. Cyrus just got in touch with me about a half an hour ago, and he says, I am not having a glitch. I am completely without power. So very sorry to the without power Cyrus Satsis. He will join us again on his own channel, I'm sure sometime very, very soon. But it is good to have you here no matter how you found me today. Please hit like and subscribe. It's great to have you here. This is indeed, it was supposed to be me and Cyrus for about an hour together, but he's unavailable due to the power outage. And we're going to talk about how the Warriors have anything but a power outage early on in this year. Welcome to a little Warrior recap. You know, we get so focused on the NFL and what's happening over there that we sort of let this start to the season kind of happen a little bit under the radar. And maybe the Warriors themselves were a little bit under the radar as this season approached. Not anymore. They have given us, albeit a small sample size full of games, they've given fans an awfully big reason to lean in and pay attention to what the hell is going on here, and they look good. I mean, the Warriors look legit right now, absolutely looking legit as a basketball operation, and I'm just going to tell you that the Jayson Taytum Revenge Game left a little bit to be desired. Now, look, Tatum played well. Tatum's a really good player. But first of all, revenge for what? Revenge for winning a gold medal? Is that it? Or maybe, just maybe, you are very, very upset that we've got a situation where you didn't play as much as you wanted to. Boo-hoo, sister. Like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it, Jayson Tatum. The fact that Derek White is out there almost having a better game than you in your revenge game is kind of how stupid this revenge tour is. But I tell you, you could tell the game meant a little something. It felt like it was the first game of the year that actually came with a little bit of buzz to it. Actually, like, the Warriors blew right through their own slow start to the game. And you could just tell by the way that they were locked in defensively. And this is what I like most about this year so far. The way the Warriors are just playing with intensity. A defensive intensity that's easy to see. It translates right through the screen. They're playing with detail and defense. And this is how they were going to have to go about winning. And they were going to have to stack early wins this year when they're out there playing their fannies off and the other team really isn't, because it is very much part and parcel of NBA teams to kind of slowly walk into their season. You know, we'll start playing defense around Valentine's Day. It's not how it was set up for the Golden State Warriors, and that's not what they're doing. Oh, they look good. The Golden State Warriors look really good. Dialed in defense. They crushed the Celtics in the paint last night, 52-36. They crushed the Celtics with their bench last night. Buddy Hield was a game best plus 20 coming off the bench. And the bench got a great Kevon Looney game. Boy, he had some timely putbacks to go along with 10 rebounds off the bench for Loon. The bench accounted for only three of the team's 11 turnovers on the night. So they're not turning the ball over. Detail, defense, and everybody pretty much shoots the three ball right now. So will you be shooting it with a decent percentage and volume? And the answer for the Warriors on both fronts has been yes and yes. This is a fantastic start for the Warriors, kids. They're 7-1 and a legit 7-1. They're a 7-1 doing something that a lot of people said, look, man, and I'm still going to say it too. I don't know if a 13-man, 12-man rotation is sustainable over the course of an NBA season, but Steve Kerr has got everybody on this roster bought into this concept of everybody gets an orange slice at halftime and a banana and some cantaloupe, and we play everybody. We're like a YMCA Boy Scout team. He sold it. It's working, and it appears to not only have some harmony, but it's really, like, seriously, it appears that they're enjoying it. Like they're happy that everyone has a role to play. Like they're feeding off good energy, connectivity, the word that we heard so much from Steve Kerr. There's plenty of it out there. There's plenty of it out there. Celtics fans booing Steve Kerr like he's Draymond Green every single time he touches the ball. Again, so sorry that he went undefeated on the way to winning a gold medal. That must have been rough for everybody. But our guy didn't get enough minutes. Yeah. You know, Derek White got plenty of minutes, though. How come you weren't? I didn't hear any swan songs for how much Derek White was playing. Pieces need to fit together and roles need to be agreed to for an Olympic team to work. Not everybody out there can be Kevin Durant. Slow your roll, Jayson Tatum. You're a hell of a player. There's no doubt about it. But you're just Jayson Tatum all at the same time. I'm sorry. Like, you can put Jayson Tatum on the Celtics, which is about as big of a brand as there is in the NBA. Jayson Tatum still feels like he's got all the star power of an Indiana Pacer. Like, there's still something about Jayson Tatum where I don't look at him and I go, oh, here's one of the biggest stars in the NBA chandelier. Great player. But I feel like his star power is being forced upon me more than I'm really drawn to him the way that other stars just draw you to them. And I felt this way before the whole Olympic buffoonery started. Defense and detail. Anthony Slater was talking about the win against the Celtics. And at one point, you know, the Warriors defense held the Celtics to a 6-minute scoreless stretch. That is really hard to do to the Celtics at home. They play so well at home. And the Warriors just, you know, they're equal parts deep and careful and hustling right now. And it is really, really turned into some fun, entertaining, eye-pleasing, mouth-watering basketball. Again, I'm really excited. Like, Indiana was making its, you know, season debut as a basketball program last night. I'm flipping back and forth, Warriors, Celtics, and I'm watching Indiana. And I'm all fired up for the Warriors. I'm wearing old fan Warrior giveaway shirts on today's show. I was going to hit Ike with this shirt today, or excuse me, my man Cyrus with this shirt today. But Cyrus has no power. Hopefully he's got enough power on his phone to be watching this show, which we're doing not only on Damon Bruce Plus, but on Golden Days as well. So we're over here. We're easy to find. We're on both of these channels. Share and share alike. Hopefully, Cyrus gets that power turned back on before the freezer starts defrosting. Don't want that to happen. But if that freezer indeed starts to go, well, then, Cyrus, what you need to do is get yourself into an Ike's for lunch today. That power goes out, and you can't eat anything in that fridge because it is spoiled. It is always being served up fresh over at Ike's. Over 100 locations now throughout the West Coast, and hopefully one coming to a town near you soon. If you are on all your usual delivery apps, go ahead and sign up for Ike's Rewards right now. And if you do, you're going to get free sandwiches, baby. You're going to earn your way towards more sandwiches. You're going to get prizes with every purchase and be registered to hit New Orleans for a trip for two right around a large football game getting played here in February. So get yourself to Ike's and have Ike's brought to you. Download that app. You'll be very, very happy that you did. It's that year for his Thanksgiving themed sandwiches, which are always great sandwiches. Our friends at the Dubliner, they had a wonderful time hosting us for Plus Mania 5. Unfortunately, Cyrus was unable to make that one too. Maybe he'll make Plus Mania 6. The Cyrusing, we'll find out together one day if he actually is able to roll into San Francisco. But we had a great time at the Dubliner and West Portal. I urge you to go to the Dubliner and West Portal to watch a Warrior game, to watch a Niner game, to just sit down, drink your cares away. And there are some cares in the world to be drinking away these days, if you don't mind me saying. So cheers to all of you who were there. And if you weren't there, hopefully you can join us next time. It was a really good time. My man Erwin brought me the coffee that I'm sipping right now, and that was officially our sip o' the day. And I also need to let you know that we are sponsored over here on Damon Bruce Plus by our good friends at BetUS. And when you sign up right now, use promo code YouTube150 for a 150% sign up bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000 and 125% on your next two deposits up to $2,000, all with using promo code YouTube150. Start playing today over on BetUS. So we've got that going. It is great to have you here. Again, if you are normally watching on Cyrus's channel, but you're over here right now, that's sweet. It's great to have you. Thanks so much for stopping on by. Let me get Cyrus's logo back up in the room here so people don't think he's got a hijacking going on. Tune in for a little Cyrus and you get a whole bunch of Damon Bruce. You're probably going, what the hell's this? This is a power outage for my man Cyrus. No power outage for the Golden State Warriors. I mean, not at all. They have looked incredible. I mean, really, really incredible. Their resume, like the actual, let's go open up the stats, see how they're doing, it more than matches the eye test. And it's funny, there's probably no sport where the eye test actually matters as much as in basketball. Like, so your favorite NFL team is playing really well, but they're still losing, where there's not enough games for that to happen. So that's no good. In baseball, there are certainly enough games to where you can throw a few games away. You can dump some bad games as long as you're playing well. And that's the theme. You're in good shape. Basketball feels like it's got all of these night offs built into it, thanks to the fact that load management has brainwashed us all into an existence that should have never been handed to us. The truth is, these games are precious. It feels like, oh man, 82 games is way too many games. I mean, look, the Warriors are a tenth of the way through their schedule right now. They played 8 games, and they've done an incredible job in these 8 games. Again, the eye test says they're playing great. The eye test says these guys have the right attitudes, and it's working, and they're responding to Kerr, and they're responding to Stackhouse, who's the new defensive coordinator, if you will, and they're all connected, which Kerr says is so important. So important. This is fair. People are tuning in on Cyrus's channel. Missed you on Larry's Roundtable. Where was the TJD slander? There's no TJD slander from me, but this is saying, where is Cyrus? Just tuned in. Cyrus is a power outage. So unfortunately, he told me last minute, can't join you, but I see you already linked the channel. So I thought, all right, well, we'll do a little show since he can't have one. But there you go. What the fuck is fashion? Now you know. Hopefully you plan on sticking around anyways. Right now, again, nothing robs any fan base of early season enthusiasm more than the saying, it's just a small sample size. But it's an impressive small sample size. And here's where the Warriors are just based on the numbers. Right now, they're third in the NBA in scoring. They're third in the NBA in made three-pointers per game. They're second in the NBA in scoring defense, allowing only 105 points per game. They're first in net rating. They're first in rebounds with 49.5 per game. They're fourth in the NBA in blocks at 6.3. Only 8 teams turn the ball over more than the Warriors, who are averaging 13 turnovers per game. And for them, that is not just a survivable number, that's a thrivable number. Warriors turnovers under 14, that's where they want to live each and every game. Ideally, you keep it to a single-digit number. The Warriors have to be more careful. They do not have just roll the ball out, no problems at all, we can beat anybody level of talent anymore. And that's something that Anthony Slater was writing about. We'll get to that in a second. So they're not turning the ball over. They're playing their dicks off defensively. They've got an incredibly deep bench that is not only working, it's working well. It's working in harmony with the way that the starters are playing. They get complementary basketball happening offensively and defensively. It's right. The ship is pointed in the right direction. One of maybe the stats that Most people will say, well, that's not very impressive. To me, I think it's very impressive for the Warrior, and it shows that as much as a three-point launching, accurate three-point shooting team that they are getting more aggressive going to the rim, and that is being reflected in the fact that right now the Warriors are 12th in free throw attempts. They're getting to the line 24 times a night. There are times where the Warriors, when they were at their best and they were wearing the label of jump shooting team, where they wouldn't get to the line 12, 14 times in a game. Right now, the Warriors are attacking the rim just enough to keep teams and defenses honest against them. That creates the sag off that Kyle Anderson's been enjoying, that Buddy Hield's enjoying, and we'll talk about how much Buddy Hield's enjoying being a Warrior here in just a second. But the pieces are really fitting together for a team that's got a ton of pieces to tinker with. You wouldn't think the tinkering would have so much like motor oil making it happen smoothly on it right now, but it's got that. Steve Kerr has done an incredible job to the start of this season. And I bet you that even if the always skeptical about Steve Kerr, Cyrus, were on this channel right now, we're on this show right now, he would agree. He would agree. Like, I don't want to hear about any complaints about any rotations. This is still early on in the year. They're figuring it all out. They are taking ideas that they think will work in the game. They're throwing them against the wall in the locker room to see what sticks. I think they're having a great start to the year, and so does everybody. So does the NBA. What's really good is that the Warriors are first in point differential. I mean, you can't do much more than that. So they're beating teams by more points than anyone else in the NBA on a nightly basis. That's good. Again, it's all a small sample size, but remember, it's a small sample size that has seen games already missed by Curry, by Melton, and by Andrew Wiggins. So the small sample size has also, produced a consistent level of basketball with some of the most important hands on deck not even being there. That to me says this is sustainable. Like, this is a formula that looks like it's working. I wouldn't suggest any other NBA team try to quite get down like this. You need some real leadership from your head coach. You need some real buy-in leadership from the leaders of your team and the voices in your locker room. And you need the last dude on the team to be all bought in too, not just Steph Curry, and he sets the beat that we all march to. If the last guy who matters on the Golden State Warriors isn't down with a plan like this, it would not work. So it's an incredible team buy-in, and the team production has been fantastic. It really, really has been. Anthony Slater, again, wrote last night, they held the Celtics to a 6-minute scoreless stretch, and they got to do that. They got to continue to play like hands down, man down defense all game long, and they're doing it. They're doing it with incredible energy. Even when they were buried in a deep hole because they were not hitting shots early in that game, and it's 14-2, Boston starting the night, and you got Warriors fans who, again, if you have to tweet about your NBA anxiety 3 minutes into a game, go watch another sport. Like, this shit ain't for you, okay? Like, calm the fuck down. We have played 3 minutes of a 48-minute game where a 25-point swing can happen just like that at any point in time. So don't tell me about early game shooting woes. Of course, you'd like a good start. Good starts are not always guaranteed, especially when you're on the road. And last night, the Celtics, that game did mean something to them. You could tell they came out frisky, and so did the Warriors. By the way, if you want to prove that it meant a little something to the Warriors, Steph Curry, 27 points, 9 assists, 7 rebounds, 4 steals, only 3 turnovers, and a season high in minutes for Steph Curry. So that game did mean something to the Warriors, to Curry. He wants to defend his boy Steve Kerr. Oh, the Jayson Taytum Revenge Game? Go fuck yourself. Come on, get out of here. Oy, oy, oy! What are you talking about? Jayson Taytum Revenge. Come on. Hit like and subscribe, my friends. It is great to have you here. If you are watching over on Cyrus's page, Golden Days, like and subscribe. If you're watching on Damon Bruce Plus, saunter over to Golden Days, get and a subscribe from my man my man Cyrus. I feel terrible that he is without power, but we are still providing him content here on his channel. And I see a lot of people from his channel slipping into the chat. So thank you very much. Stephen Brooks is not happy with the people watching to likes ratio. So Stephen Brooks wants you to all get your shit together, everybody. Let's improve upon that, don't you think? Yeah, let's do that. Again, the resume is passing the eye test. The Warriors are passing the eye test. And I don't think anybody has shown himself a better offseason addition and an easier fit, and somebody who has just taken, took to the water like a duck. Buddy Hield. Splash buddy number one. It's like he was built to be a Golden State Warrior. This, Bahamian sharpshooter has enjoyed life in the gravitational pull of Steph Curry in ways he probably couldn't even imagined. Hield was born to be a Warriors. If I can quote Monte Ellis, if you don't mind. Every time I quote Monte Ellis, that deserves that too. I will always be a Warriors. Dude, Buddy Hield was born to be a Warriors. Unbelievable, man. Listen to some of these numbers. Again, it's all early. But this guy's shooting it at better than 50% right now from three. He's given the Warriors 21 a night coming off the bench without saying a peep about coming off the bench. He's cool with it. And Steph Curry's gravity has turned Buddy Hield into one of the greatest shooters on the planet, which he already was before he even took the job. But listen to this. So Hield carries a career effective field goal percentage. Effective field goal percentage is the formula that really tells us what kind of a shooter you are from everywhere on the court. How do you shoot from twos? How do you shoot from downtown in your threes? How do you shoot from the free throw line? It's all put together in a formula, and that's your effective field goal percentage. Right now, Hield carries a career effective field goal percentage of 55.3. Well, through 7 games this season, his effective field goal percentage is up better than 12 points over his career effective field goal percentage average at 67.7%. DeAndre Jordan, who I don't even think shot a three in his career. Everything DeAndre Jordan did was right at the rim. And everyone who leads the NBA in effective field goal percentage, it's usually a big man. It's usually a center. We're usually talking about around the rim games. You're not looking at 3-point shooters. As a matter of fact, if you look at the NBA's all-time effective field goal percentage shooters, it's usually a big man who was good at hitting free throws. And that's what you got. It's all big men. And then you see Joe Ingles' name come out of nowhere. And then it's Steph Curry. You got 2 guys on this list who are actually taking 3-point shots. DeAndre Jordan's effective field goal percentage, which is an NBA career record, by the way. So we're just talking about a big man drop step dunking and hitting free throws and bunnies and putbacks. So far, Buddy Hield's effective field goal percentage, as he is shooting from the parking lot, is up there with DeAndre Jordan's. So, in other words, and this is where the Warriors, it could officially get a little scary for the rest of the NBA. Curry's career effective field goal percentage is 58.2. Again, right now, Buddy Hield is shooting nearly 9 percentage points better than Steph Curry's effective field goal percentage for his career. So the Warriors have the greatest shooter of all time, creating gravity for Buddy Hield that has Buddy Hield now shooting better than the greatest shooter of all time. So you have definitively the greatest shooter of all time and maybe one of the only guys who on any given night could actually wear the crown of I'm the best shooter on the planet on the same team. Does this sound familiar to anybody? Because this is the formula that Klay Thompson and Steph Curry used to enjoy. We all know who the best shooter in the world is, but on any given night, this other guy, he could be better than that guy. That's how fucking ridiculous these two are together. And that's where the Warriors are with Steph Curry and Buddy Hield right now. The two best shooters on the planet are teammates once again. It's really something else. This guy is incredible. Buddy Hield is the perfect Golden State Warrior. Just perfect. By the way, a little NBA fun fact for you. It's definitely a young man's league, but it is now more than ever an old man's league too. Last night marked the first time in NBA history that 5 different players, 35 or older, scored 25 or more points on the same day. Grandpas had a great day in the NBA just yesterday. Steph Curry, DeMar DeRozan, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and Russell Westbrook all went for 25 or more and have officially earned their senior slam breakfasts from Denny's. Congratulations, old men. Put your walkers down. Come get your 2 moons over Miami and enjoy your senior slams. I mean, really, the NBA is a young man's game. But old men are still very, very capable, and that's good news for the Golden State Warriors. You know, it's funny, too. You look around the league and you think everywhere you go, you need a lightning quick twitch athlete. And then you look at a guy like Kyle Anderson. By the way, Kyle Anderson, you know, I know he's already got the nickname Slow-Mo. I get it. Like, that guy is a human changeup on a basketball court. I think he's hard to defend because you just wouldn't think anybody would ever dare take that much time to gather themselves before a shot. Kyle Anderson, sag off him at your own risk. Number one, if you sag off of him, you know you're sagging off of a guy who on any given night can heat up and shoot it a little, but you're also sagging off a guy that is going to take 2 minutes to get the shot off, which means the entire world is going to watch you take forever to not close out on Kyle Anderson because you decided I'm going to sag off this guy. And in the meantime, he's 6 Mississippiing a shot that goes over his head and releases like he's freaking Bill Cartwright, way over his head. It's insane. He takes legitimately, it takes 5 seconds to load his shot. And guys just will watch him do it over and over again, and they won't close out on him, even though he's not I'm going to put it on the floor and blow by you guy either. I mean, call that a little lack of discipline, lack of defensive discipline, defensive complacency on the Celtics. Guess what? It's going to happen to every single team in the NBA. These guys don't want to close out on shooters. Not in the month of November anyways. Not in the month of December. Not in January. Nobody starts closing out on shooters until about, May, April, March. That's when guys close out on shooters. Warriors need to take advantage of this. The Warriors are playing defense in a league that won't. And that's why they look like freaking Cracker Jacks, man. Looks good. Good enough to eat. It's been awesome. Truth telling's man, I love Kyle Anderson. Dude, seriously, the guy is like a human changeup. Now, I am not comparing at all Kyle Anderson to Luka Doncic, okay? But what makes Luka Doncic so freaking unique and amazing is that he moves at his own pace and own pace only. Now, that includes dribbling the ball, bringing the ball up in a way Kyle Anderson's really not asked to because Luka's a point guard after all. But Luka doesn't rush a single thing he does at on a basketball court, and neither does Kyle Anderson. Like, how you can get away with playing slow while the entire league is playing like at warp speed around you, it's pretty unique. And again, I guess this is what complementary basketball looks like. You got your style, I got my style, and it fits together. Whenever you get a style of aggressive Draymond, it looks fantastic. And you got it right now. Draymond locked in, spreading the gospel of defense to everybody. And Loon always picks up what Draymond's put down. But looking at the effect Draymond Green is having on Trace Jackson Davis, having on Kuminga, having on Andrew Wiggins, dude, I don't know where this year goes, but it's going back to the playoffs. There's no like, oh, and the Warriors lost in the play-in round. And so, they were the 9 seed, but they won't really make it. No, they're fucking in. This is a playoff team, kids. This looks good. This looks really good. God, I wish Cyrus had power. I really wanted to talk some hoops with him today. Love talking hoops with Cyrus. This team is just showing us early that these pieces fit. And here we go. 2 huge games to wrap up this road trip. Oh, come on, David. There's no such thing as a huge game in the month of November in the NBA. Well, Warriors Celtics just gave us a pretty decent game last night. It felt like it had some real gravity to it, if not consequences. No consequences, but gravity. The Warriors are 5-0 on the road so far this year. A little factoid for you. Last time the Warriors opened a season with 5 straight road wins, they won 73 games. I'm not saying the Warriors are about to win 73 games again, but this is a really good start. A good start on the road, especially the best start on the road that they've had since the greatest regular season the NBA's ever seen. So that's a nice little indicator. And now we're going to find out really what kind of a road team you are, because the price of poker is about to go up when they pull into Cleveland, because Cleveland is 9-0 for the best start in Cavaliers franchise history. The Cavaliers have never been 10-0. They've never been 9-0 until now. The Warriors are going to try to prevent them from becoming 10-0. So the Warriors got an undefeated team in front of them, who, by the way, averages 123 points per game, which is the best in the NBA. The Cavaliers also have the best field goal percentage in the NBA right now. Hey, Warriors are right there in terms of scoring at 121 points per game. So they're third in the NBA in scoring, and they're a hell of a defensive unit so far. Second in the NBA in points allowed per game. So we got a styles make a hell of a fight and matchup coming between Warriors and Cavaliers. And then if that wasn't enough, after the Cavaliers, it's to Oklahoma City to wrap up this road trip. Oklahoma City is 7-1, and it took nothing more than a game-winning blocked shot from the Denver Nuggets last night to prevent them from going OT with the Nuggets. So it was a hell of a block. A great defensive play to end the game with. The Thunder had a shot blocked that might have sent a game to overtime, but they take their first loss because of that blocked shot to Denver. And OKC is 7-1. So you got a 7-1 team waiting for you after you play the 9-0 team that's waiting for you, after you've begun this 5-game road trip with 3 wins, 2 of them without Steph Curry even available. So, what does this all mean? It doesn't really mean anything yet other than this. Great start. Inarguably, the single biggest critic of the Warriors, of Kerr, of basketball would have to tell you that the Warriors are off to just a remarkable start this year, and you can't ask for anything more than that in the basketball that you're getting out of your team before you've had Thanksgiving dinner. So the only thing that's really available are good starts and bad starts to season at this point in time in the season. The Warriors are having a magnificent start. Huzzah! What does that mean at the end of the year? I don't know. We're not there yet, though. Let's see what it means in Cleveland. I am bummed that Cyrus's power went out. He wasn't able to make it. Go ahead, everyone. Hit like and subscribe. Do it on both channels if you would, please. Only 57 likes for this show. For shame. For shame. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure you take good care of our sponsors as well. I'm sorry I don't have Ike's Cyrus's sponsor list here. Let me give you one more of mine before we give you a little history lesson, because that's how we wrap up the show over here. Thanks so much, though, to my man Ike for all that he does to support this channel, for being its primary sponsor. Get yourself a delicious sandwich at Ike's. Have it ordered. Join the Love Rewards program. You'll be very happy that you did. The Dubliner and West Portal's got the best Guinness in the city of San Francisco. Just waiting for you. Our friends over at BetUS are waiting for you to enter promo code YouTube150 to get 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000. Again, that promo code is YouTube150. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks to Cyrus's crew for being here. Let's wrap up with a little today in history. Actually, instead of today in history, we'll just go back to last night, because this is pretty historic since we're talking basketball, right? LeBron James last night appeared in his 1,500th regular season NBA game. 1,500 regular season NBA games for LeBron James. That happened last night. And whatever you think of LeBron, if you think of him anything less than one of the single greatest athletes in the history that you have ever breathed the same air with, you're out of your mind. You are biased to the point where you've had so much of Skip Bayless's bullshit pumped into your ears, you don't know which direction is up. LeBron James is unbelievable, and he is now 4 games away from passing John Stockton, who is all-time 5th place for most regular season NBA games ever played. He's 23 more games away from overtaking Dirk for 4th place all-time NBA games played in the regular season. He's 42 games away from passing Vince Carter for the 3rd most game plays in NBA regular season history. He's 60 games away from passing Kareem for the 2nd most NBA games ever played. And if LeBron indeed plays next season as well, he's going to pass Robert Parrish for most regular season games played in NBA history. Parrish is sitting there at 1,611. So in 112 more regular season games, LeBron James will have played more regular season basketball than anyone in the history of the league. I mean, what are you going to tell me he isn't at that point, if that's what your whole point? Well, let me tell you what he isn't. The guy's been an extraordinary basketball player from his first dribble, and apparently will remain an extraordinary basketball player to his last dribble, and that's going to cover nearly a quarter century of basketball. There is really no one else in the history of sports that has been no further away from top 5 players in the league at all times over the course of like a 25-year run. And he was number 1 for so many of those years. It's just unbelievable. So, to LeBron, salute. It's historic. It really is. The only bit of history I'm going to share with you here today, because normally I get into some birthdays. There's not any real significance. Joni Mitchell turns 81 today. I was never a Joni Mitchell guy. Like, I respect Joni Mitchell, but I never liked her voice. I don't like her songs. Sounds like depressed music sad women take baths to me. I'm not a Joni Mitchell guy. But today, you know, when I think of there are 3 events in my life, 3 events where if you bring them up to me, I know exactly where I was when I was getting that news. All 3 of them are pretty much involving tragedy. One, a small group of people having tragedy befall them. I will forever remember where I was when the Challenger exploded. I was in middle school, and we were watching the space shuttle take off, and obviously very early in its flight, it explodes, and the teacher just like walked over and turned the TV off and said, well, there's a little bit of a malfunction there. And I said, whoa, 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 whoa. That's not a malfunction. That rocket just exploded. We all just saw that. We are traumatized children now, but I will always remember where I was watching the Challenger explode. It was tragic. 7 people died. Thousands of people died on the other moment in time that I will know where I was forever. On September 11th, I'm sure all of you remember where you were the very first time you saw those towers smoking and looking at everything that happened. That's emblazoned in all of our brains. The third thing that is emblazoned in my brain forever happened today. 33 years ago today, I was in high school. I was walking off of a practice field because I played high school football, and I was walking off the practice field. Literally, I can't even remember. It was a good practice, bad practice, but practice was over. I was leaving the field house. I saw my mom, who was coming to pick me up from high school football. I wasn't even old enough to drive home yet. Didn't have my car. My mom is picking me up. And before I can even reach the car, she gets out of the car, and over the top of the car, before I can even get there, tells me, Magic Johnson has AIDS. I said, what? Again, this was 33 years ago today. In 1991, Magic Johnson announced that he was HIV positive and was immediately retiring from the NBA. Now, obviously, he would come back to play a part of the 95-96 season and have a historic all-star game. But this was so early in the days of understanding what AIDS and HIV was, and everyone assumed that Magic was going to basically implode and die instantly and quickly. Little did we know that Magic Johnson was going to have enough money to get the drugs needed to live the greatest AIDS life ever. Magic is healthy as an ox right now, it would seem. It was so stunning though. And if you are as old as I am, I think you remember this. If you're not as old as I am, it would be impossible to explain what this meant to somebody who didn't actually live through it, I guess. But it was unbelievable. Like, no way. It's like saying, Superman isn't going to make it. What do you mean Magic Johnson's got AIDS? What are you talking about? Dude, apparently Magic Johnson, he had a lot of fun in LA. Let's just say it that way. Lots of fun in LA. He gets out of East Lansing. He gets to Los Angeles. He sees blondes and boobs everywhere, and he's just like, oh, hot supper. He had so much hot supper. He today, 33 years ago, announced that he had AIDS. Unbelievable. It was an unbelievable moment in time, and that is your history today. For those of you watching over here on Damon Bruce Plus, a little bit later on this afternoon, I'm going to be streaming with Brad Graham, who is the biggest Niner content creator there is on YouTube. He is Brad Graham of SF Niners. He and I are going to be doing a show together a little bit later on this afternoon. So if you need a football or a Niner fix, that is coming later today. If you were just here, this has been a big Warrior blowout after them having a really rousing game against the Celtics. This was supposed to be between me and Cyrus today. Unfortunately, Cyrus's power was out, but we went ahead and streamed on his channel anyways. And I certainly want to say, everyone watching over on Cyrus's channel, come on over and subscribe to Damon Bruce Plus, and everybody watching on Damon Bruce Plus, get over to, I got to get Cyrus's brand back up here. Sorry. Boom. There it is. Golden Days. Go ahead and subscribe to Golden Days, my man. Cyrus, that's where he works. That's where he gets it done. And so hopefully PG&E will get to work, get his power flipped back on, and we will do a show like this together shortly, very, very soon. Thanks to everyone who was in here watching either on my channel or on your channel or on Cyrus's channel, or you're watching this a little bit later on. It does not matter. Thank you very much. Hit like, hit subscribe, and please do remember that sports don't build character, they reveal it. And like that, he's gone.